Hey guys, welcome again to Y2J Does Asia, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about my plan going forward. I've already talked about the long-term plan for my channel before. I'm going to be telling you about some of my ideas for content and, my release schedule and basically what I plan to do. If my voice is a little bit hoarse, I'm just getting over the flu. And also going to tell you about why I'm doing this, what is my mission statement. And I'm going to have to go straight to Henry Rollins. If you don't know who Henry Rollins is he's kind of an intrepid traveler. He's a traveler slash writer slash comedian slash musician, all of these things. He started off as a punk rock musician. His big break was in a punk rock band in the 1980s called Black Flag. And that led him to a lot of success as a musician. And he basically, I think it was like 2003, his band kind of packed up and sort of finished. And what he's been doing ever since then, and because he's now in like his mid-50s, he's become like an intrepid traveler, and he travels the world. He goes, to one country, another country, another country, another country, all the countries that you're not supposed to go to that are dangerous. He'll go there. I mean, he got a visa and he went to North Korea 1 year. And you can Google him. You can Google Henry Rollins and look at Henry Rollins on YouTube and do his spoken word stuff, because what he does is he comes back with all these travel stories, and he does what he calls spoken word, which is a little bit like stand-up comedy. Basically, he stands in front of an audience and tells the stories about where he's been, what he's done, what he's seen, that kind of thing. And it's kind of his mission statement to get people out of their bubble and get people interested in other cultures. And one of the things that he says repeatedly in his shows is to get a passport. And he talks about the fact that a lot of people in Middle America, and applies not just to Middle America, but pretty much everywhere around the world. I mean, I think everybody's guilty of this, where everybody, has circumstances that puts them in this, is not seeing the world, not getting out of your neighborhood and actually seeing the rest of the world. And so that's my mission statement. It's to try to get you guys interested in other cultures, so that you're going to go and see what the rest of the world looks like. And there's a real important reason for doing that. We know, based on history, that when we understand our neighbors, we like our neighbors, and we don't want to bomb and kill our neighbors. Hugely important. When you understand a Muslim, and when you're friends with a Muslim, you don't want to kill a Muslim with a gun. Not really. The point here is that getting to know other cultures does a lot to reduce xenophobia, basically. As somebody preaching this to you, I am not somebody who has been a traveler, and interested in this kind of thing all my life. I'm not one of those guys. I am somebody that was kind of turned around on it. I was stuck in my bubble, never really traveled abroad, never did much of anything until probably my early 30s. Because here's the thing, guys. The world is friggin' huge. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of people to meet. There's a lot of things to do. And we are only on this earth for a limited amount of time. And if you just spend that entire time in your own backyard, you will have missed out on a lot of what is out there. Now, of course, logistics come into play here. We don't all have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on travel. So, one of the points that you'll hear me kind of, hit home in the future is going to be start small, take baby steps. The baby steps are, if you haven't got a passport, you get a passport. If you haven't traveled out of your own province yet, go to another province in your own country. You take baby steps. And, so that's one of the things that's you'll hear me say in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much the mission statement. We'll move on to some of the content. Now, this is a kind of a preliminary list of some of the shows that I want to make on this channel. The shows that I've already uploaded are basically shows of me traveling to China, primarily China. And that's why the channel is called Y2J Does Asia, because most of the travel videos you'll see will be in the Asia region of the world. But of course, when I do some travel into other countries, you'll see that too. Some monthly content that I'm planning on bringing to this channel. These 4 shows I'm about to list, I'm planning on doing 1 a week. Again, this is a preliminary plan, and it's still all in development, so it could change. What You Didn't Know About, hosted by me, and this is an educational show. So what you didn't know about Singapore, what you didn't know about Iceland, what you didn't know about Mozambique. I pick a country or a city, or even a people around the world, and I do the research and I look it up and I read to you and I educate you about something that you didn't know about that country. For example, did you know that in Iceland, in the summer, it only gets up to about 15 degrees Celsius? That's how hot it gets in summer in Iceland. Another monthly show, Travel China Guide. This is me telling stories and giving advice specifically about China. Dealing with taxi drivers, buses, subways, going to attractions, the temperature, the climate, tourist attractions you may or may not go to, and so on. And another monthly show, Blue's View. This guy, Blue's View. This is where I'm going to be searching the internet for those unusual news stories of random, weird shit that goes on around the world, and Blue will present it to you in a very parody-like format. Another monthly show, My Backyard, hosted by me. This is where I travel to different places here in New Zealand, my backyard, and I show you what's here. And I show you some of the things that are here that you wouldn't necessarily be able to just look up online. It's primarily focusing on my province, things that are driving distance to me, so Canterbury, New Zealand. So that's my backyard. And then we move on to sporadic content. We've got 5 more shows here. Food review, probably going to be hosted by me and Coco, and this is when we go to restaurants and we try out the food. Sometimes the restaurants will be overseas, sometimes they'll be here. And the idea behind here is to educate you about cuisine. What it's made of, how it tastes, the good things, the bad things about it, and so on. A sporadic show, The Snarky Show. That's right, that's my channel, that's my show. The Snarky Show, hosted by Snarky and Stripey, and this is purely a parody joke show where these guys are just gonna make fun of people, culture, travel, anything that's interesting enough to make fun of it. For example, Snarky already had a show called The 5 Strangest Things in China. Another sporadic show, Kiwi Road Trip, probably by me and the puppets, and this is every time I do a road trip in New Zealand, so it's going to be driving videos basically. A little bit like My Backyard, but more of an emphasis on going further out and the actual the transport aspect to it, the driving. Fat Guy Adventure, hosted by me. That is going to be adventure videos, so outdoor activities essentially. Things like mountain biking, kayaking, skiing, whitewater rafting, hiking, archery, caving, anything like that that's an outdoorsy thing. I don't honestly do a lot of that, I just do a little bit, so hence those videos will be sporadic. And you won't be looking at like an expert doing that kind of stuff. Like, when you watch a snowboarding video and somebody who's set up a really good camera and stuff, and they're using a GoPro or whatever, and they video themselves doing all kinds of flash jumps and spins and flips and stuff. And you know that when you do it, that person is A, athletic, B, practiced, C, knows what the hell they're doing. Well, when you watch me do that, you're going to be watching a complete bloody novice, because I don't do a lot of adventurous stuff. But again, this is about trying to get me out of my bubble and doing some things that's outside my comfort zone. Lastly, travel vlog by me, Coco, and the puppets. Travel vlog show, featuring various locations and attractions outside of New Zealand. So most of what you've seen already on the channel, the China videos, have been travel vlogs. So those are the 9 areas of content that I plan to, upload for this channel. And I've given you my mission statement. So yeah, and hopefully this video is going to be reasonably good quality because I've just done it on the phone here in 1440p. So if this stuff sounds appealing to you guys, leave a comment or a question, click that like button and subscribe, please. I hate to be the salesman kind of person to ask you to do that, but this channel is pretty damn small and pretty damn new, so I have put in a lot of effort already, and I will put in a lot of effort in the future. So please subscribe if this stuff sounds interesting to you and if the other videos that I've got look interesting to you. Thanks for watching. See ya.